Hey, we are back again, another week of the virtual tea. Let's be more specific, the intentional living virtual tea. This is week 3, and we are so glad to be back with you with another special guest. But as we always start out, I want you to say hello to us as you join. Share this out to your friends, your family, your foes, and I will do the same. So we'll give everyone a moment to join us. I know you have seen the reminders, and if you had any sense, you would have clicked the reminder as well from the post yesterday so that you would get notified of this thing. So again, if you're joining us, I see some people popping on. Give us some heart, love, thumbs up. Say hello so we know you're out there. And meanwhile, we're going to share. Come on in. Whoever is out there, say hello, share this out. You can't be stingy with these goods. I'm just telling y'all.
Okay, I started my watch party. Turn it down.
I have one more place to share and then we'll get started. Hey, everyone that's joining. We are just going live, sharing this out so that we can make sure everyone is with us. And you can do the same. I'm used to my dual screen, so now I'm having to do this on my phone. So it's taking me a little bit longer, but we'll get there.
I'm just inviting people.
Okay, perfect. Come on in the room. I see you all joining. Say hello, give us thumbs up, heart and love. Let us know you're out there. We are about to get started here momentarily. I'm sharing this in one more spot and it's taking me longer than I thought. Okay, I got it out there. So if you're just tuning in, make sure that you give us some heart, love, thumbs up. Say hello so that we can welcome you in. We won't be rude. We got to greet you because we are very thankful for you spending your time to join us on this Tuesday evening. So again, if this is your first time tuning in, first time interacting or seeing me, I am Dr. Jatan Dorsey, life and business coach, professor, speaker, founder of the Commend Network, and a host of other things that we won't go into today. But with that, I want to tell you why you're here. So again, if you're joining us, say hello, give us heart, love, thumbs up, share this thing out. But the intentional living virtual tea, what is that about, right? So it is an experience that's leading up to the bigger experience that's in person. So this is more like an appetizer, right? So we've spread it out over the month of May with some juicy, goody good talks with some boss business beauties. And you should tune in every week. I'm just saying, if you missed the first 2 weeks, you can go back and catch the replay. Make sure you type hashtag replay as you do. But if you're here with us today, right now, welcome. You are catching us live. And so the live tea, when I say live, talking about the tea, I mean the in-person tea on June 1st. So we can get clear about that thing. We are leading up to that event. So if you haven't yet grabbed your tickets, make sure that you do so. The tickets are still available. I will be posting the link as we go throughout this conversation. And then also I want to give some love to some of our sponsors and or vendors. We have Curls, Mary Kay, Arm Candy, Delicious Scrubs. We have Young Living Lifestyle Wellness and My Dearest Boutique. So I am so excited about the sponsors, the vendors, and all the good treats we have in store for you on June 1st. And there's so much more that I can't tell you all about just yet. So you got to be there to know about it. And every year we have a different theme. This year's theme is The Arrival. And as I've said in one of the previous videos or lives rather, you may be saying to yourself, what do you mean arrival? Or you may be saying, girl, I need to learn more about that because I'm trying to arrive, even though I'm, in a good spot right now, or maybe I'm not. There's still opportunity for me to do better, be better, and show up bigger for myself in life, love, or business. And so that's what this is all about. So today I have with me Dr. Stacia Alexander, and I have to read her bio so you know exactly who you're playing in the house with and with the playpen with today, because she is the real deal. I'm just saying. We're going to chat with her, and then we'll jump right into the conversation about Arrival. Again, Arrival has so many different perspectives and aspects of it that you can talk about. So I'm just excited to get into this conversation. But about Dr. Stacia, she has a BA in psychology from the University of Texas in Arlington. Her MA is in counseling from Amberton University, and her PhD is in clinical psychology from Walden University. She serves as the Director of Wellness and Mental Health Clinic at Paul Quinn College through a collaboration with community partners to provide extended psychological and psychiatric services to students and faculty. Dr. Alexander, as the founder, has served as the Executive Director of Positive Influences for 20 years. It is a group practice with a diverse staff of clinicians operating out of the offices around Dallas, Texas. She has a passion for mental health advocacy and regularly speaks to groups about the emotionality of life as a conduit for reducing the stigma of accessing mental health treatments. As well, she is the co-author of a guidebook for families written alongside her husband and her 2 adult children called The Balancing Act. You can find her on all social media platforms. And if you follow her, I'm sure you see the link she sent out as well for you to join the watch party. So make sure that you're doing just that as we progress through this. But hello, Dr. Stacia. Thanks for joining us.
Hello. I'm so happy to be here. Look, skidded in right at the last minute, but I'm good. I'm ready.
Yeah, we were right on time. So I have so many directions I could and want to go in with you today, just because I know a lot of the different things that you have going on. And I think that it will be conducive for this discussion for many people that may be tuned in and wondering, how can I do better about arriving at my plan B or C or D or whatever it is that they're trying to arrive at. Again, folks, as we talked about in the previous weeks, it doesn't mean if you've already achieved one goal, it doesn't mean that you've arrived, right? There's always opportunity to continue to arrive. So as I've been saying, always be arriving. So, Dr. Stacia, one of your platforms is Goals Don't Have Feelings. So,
right.
So I had to start there. So when we talk about goals and goals not having feelings, how do you think people conditioning or understanding that concept better helps them arrive at the next point in life?
Well, okay, so the platform is called Goals Don't Have Feeling because it's really based on my memoir. That's what I named it, and I haven't released it yet because I've just been working through what do I tell, what don't I tell, what's relevant, what's helpful for other people. But one of the things that kept me consistent from high school in terms of the trajectory of my life was understanding that what I was feeling at that moment was not necessarily indicative of what I was capable of doing. So if I'm in school, undergrad, my master's, my doctorate, I'm not feeling it now. I'm wanting to do other things. I'm stressed. I'm overwhelmed. I'm scared. What will I actually be able to do these things? All of those emotions are perfectly normal for the new experiences that I'm having, but I should not get held down by those or held back. And that takes me on a different trajectory. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So when you don't feel like it, in that moment,
keep going.
Keep going. I got you. I got you. Because many
Right.
people, they get distracted or even deterred just because something doesn't feel right and immediately
Right.
assume that that just means to give up. So,
Well, because what we're battling are our intuitions. Our intuition will tell you when you walk into a room, if something doesn't feel right, you need to step back and take a look around and understand what your surroundings are. But when you sit down, like you and I, we talk to people about being intentional, actually working through your goal, setting a plan, and working your plan. So you were very rational, or you consulted with other people when you set that schedule up and that plan up to reach those goals. So
yeah.
don't get sidetracked just because you get frustrated or you get, again, scared or sad because something didn't go your way. Just because I failed this test doesn't mean I failed this class. You
Mm,
see what I'm saying?
yes.
So even if I failed this class, doesn't mean I failed the entire program. It means that I need to reset and reconfigure what I need to do to actually reach my final goal. But what I found, over 20 years of working with people is that a lot of reasons, well, the most important reason or the most prevalent reason why people don't reach their goals is because they got hijacked by their emotions.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
So they got into their feelings.
Exactly. Yes. That's exactly what happened.
So
Mm-hmm.
then, how do you tell a person that is, well, first they have to realize that they're in their feelings. So, how do you tell a person that is prone to, has been, this has happened regularly in the goal, in the journey of achieving
Mm-hmm.
their goals, that they get caught up in the feelings and they completely get distracted and they fall off? What is it that they should do, or how do they channel or redirect those emotions?
I help them navigate those emotions. What we don't do, we don't identify. The only emotions that we normally identify out of the hundreds that God has blessed us with are happy, sad, and mad. Those are the only three.
Mm,
If you ask somebody how they're doing, oh, I'm happy. Oh, what happened? That girl made me mad. But what is in between there are layers and layers of emotions that we honestly do not address. And so part of what I do, whether it's on a micro level or a macro level, I help people understand that those layers of emotions are just as important as those top three that we identify. So
mm,
if we can go through those layers and say, okay, you were angry with her, but you were really disappointed, or it really scared you, or you were really frustrated, or you were confused. But a lot of us aren't comfortable with those feelings because that means that I'm vulnerable. I'm
wow.
vulnerable. And we don't like being vulnerable. But anger says that I'm powerful.
Mm,
Sadness says, give me a minute. And happy says, I'm okay all the time. But if I look at somebody and say I'm confused, then does that mean I'm not as smart as the next person because I'm not
yeah,
getting it as quickly as they are? And if
yeah,
I say I'm frustrated, that means that I don't have a good handle on my emotions. See, those emotions leave us feeling vulnerable and inadequate. So that's what I help
wow,
people deal with.
wow. And then we know,
Mm-hmm.
especially with the way that social media has conditioned us, at least many, I
Mm-hmm.
think us, because I don't want to, point fingers, because we've all have been at many various places where we may feel down and we may need that extra push. But social media has
Right.
created this image that we can't be weak, we can't, or we come across as weak if we show emotion, right? Or if
Right.
we don't say that we can't deal with it exactly how we want to at that point because we're afraid of the image or the impression that other people will get.
Right.
So
Right.
when you talk about, by the way, Sonia says that good, that's some good tea, the sip burns her lip. So when we talk about just goals in general, and you mentioned briefly there about being intentional and setting out your plans, how
Right.
how is it that you've seen, at least with you pushing out this goals don't have feelings, how often do you come across clients or people, just individuals in general, that haven't even thought about their goals, or they're still trying to figure out their passion, and they may be, more mature in life and feel like, okay, it's too late?
So what I tell people is that it is perfectly natural for us to shift gears at developmental levels of our lives. So my goals at 19 are certainly not the same goals that I have nearing 50. And that's okay. It doesn't mean that you're inadequate. But what I have found more often is how much people minimize those emotions. Like, okay, so you're successful in your life. Like you said, if we look at you on social media, most of us are aware now that we can tell any story we want on social media. But when I meet you face to face and you still look successful and I get to talking to you and you still sound successful, then I begin to idolize or imagine that you just have this wonderful life. But when we get on our platforms and we're honest with people and we peel away the layers, they can see that, oh, she had a journey. Like that was a marathon she ran. That wasn't just a sprint. This was a marathon. And what do we get on marathon runs? We get burns inside of our legs and we don't have the right, the right moisturizer.
Yeah.
Some people lose their toenails. We get chafed up under the arms and everything. There's a lot that comes into running that marathon. So that's how I kind of explain to people the emotionality of success. It's not always happiness on that journey. Sometimes that route to success has a lot of negative emotions. So that's what I think people are more surprised by than actually talking about goals. They're like, okay, I have a goal, but they don't understand that it's okay to feel dismayed. It's okay to feel confused. It's okay to doubt yourself on that route. Don't look at this person over here who's already at the finish line of her marathon. You see what I'm saying? Because of course she's gonna be crying. She's happy. You're looking at her thinking, oh my gosh, everything went perfect for her. No, it did not. If you pull away those layers of clothes, you'll see all of the bumps and bruises that happened along the way.
Wow. And I think that's what a lot of people are challenged with now because they don't want to open up and share that experience. And when you come across that way with this wall up, it's not as receptive these days because people are now wanting to see the human side. So when we talk about that, speaking of the human side, I think you and I both went on a quick vacation over the weekend.
I saw your pictures.
Yes. In the same state, but a different city, looks like. So when we talk about mindfulness and keeping your balance, I know one of your books is called The Balancing Act even, but how do you display that message to others who may be neglecting themselves from that point of view in life and finding that balance?
Well, I'm honest in saying that I neglected myself too. Because we get caught up in the energy of our lives. Like, I got to do this, I got to do this, I got to do that. But there were two things that happened to me this year that were, I guess, residual from 2018. I just realized I was going way too much. Okay. And so I made a pact with myself. I said that I was going to do some things. So the first thing I did was I called my uncle and I said, I'm coming to see you in February. He was like, why? I was like, because I haven't seen you. I haven't been to your home. You keep coming back to Texas, but we haven't come up there. So we coming to see you. And we went, right? And it was such a surge, like just like Lord put it on my heart that you need to go. Like I bought the tickets that day. It was quick. They were cheap. It was wonderful. We got there on that day and my uncle, he told us something and it was revealing for him. And it was revealing for us that, oh my gosh, you need to listen to God more. You really do need to stop. When you hear him speaking to you, you need to stop and recalibrate and say, am I really doing what you would have me to do? So for me to just get on the computer, I didn't check my bank account. I didn't check the kids' schedules. I didn't check my work schedule. I didn't do anything. I just booked the tickets and it was done, right? And then with this particular event that we went to this last weekend, we've been talking about this for months. Would I just open up my account? I have 3 kids in college. There's no way I would just book a trip like this off the cuff. I started depositing into this retreat last year. Do you see what I'm saying? Last year. How did I know? And this will bring me to tears. How did I know that I would lose 4 people in 3 weeks? 4 people to death. How would I possibly know that?
Right.
Right before I went to the retreat. One of them, I couldn't even go to their funeral because the retreat was the day of her funeral. That's because I was listening to God. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I was intentional about hearing his voice. He says, Stacia, no, you can't afford it. No, you shouldn't be going out of town. That's the middle of the school year. That's when you have your reports due. I run a business. All of these things are going on. But I said, I know what I can do. I can do a little extra work over here and I can pay the deposit. I can do a little extra work over here and I can pay for the room. And that's what I did. And that was the most relaxing thing that I could have done. We didn't have good internet service. The only time we could post was when we went out on an excursion. It was in the middle of, there was a vineyard behind us. Like there was nothing but a vineyard and mountains behind us. I mean, there were goats around the corner. You know, it was just so removed from society. And we just did. We just laughed, we danced, we ate. I tried to try oysters. I couldn't do it. You know, it was just fun. It was fun. And my cousin, she said, she looked at me, she texted me, she was like, I can't tell you, because we still, like we're 16 or whatever. But she was just like, you looked relaxed. Like every picture I saw of you, I didn't see any frowns, I didn't see any wrinkles. All I saw was total relaxation. Wow. We have to do it. And I told her, I said, if I could afford to, I would do that every 3 months. I would. Because it's necessary.
It is.
If we're going to go as hard as we do, if we're going to go as hard as we do, we need to relax. We need to remove ourselves. No internet. No, like I never checked my email the 5 days that I was gone. That is unheard of.
So how did you feel after coming out of that? Because I'm sure
felt like I was
just going to say going into
like I still feel good.
You do. That's good. Because I think we have a delay, so I'm sorry that we're kind of talking over each other. But I was saying that you go so hard, right? It was probably you go so hard that it was so hard for you to not go hard. And you were probably sitting around thinking, I know I should be doing something, but you have to keep reframing your thoughts to make sure that you remain in that space that you're in.
Now, if I had been at home, I would have done like if I had just taken a couple of days off from work, I would have had that mentality. But I think being so far away from home, and if anything happened, I was totally incapable of doing anything about it, helped a lot. Like we couldn't even get Netflix where we were. I mean, think about it. We were that far out. Yeah. So I just settled into it. The bed was comfortable. It was just relaxing.
And that's probably what we need, right? When we say we're going to relax, that putting us in a space where we don't really have the ability to get on the internet or do those other things that we typically do, that'll keep us on track to keeping that mindfulness. So if you guys are just joining us, we are talking about the Arrival, the Intentional Living High Tea, which will occur on June 1st. So make sure that you grab your ticket if you haven't already. I just posted the link in the comments. Also, excuse me, make sure that you're saying hello, giving us heart, love, thumbs up, sharing this out to your friends, your family, and your foes, because we need all the folks to know what we are talking about today. Dr. Stacia is definitely spilling all the tea. She's going in on this mental health piece, and then the goals don't have feelings. I'm just saying, if you didn't catch it from the beginning, you're going to have to catch the replay, but definitely catch it if you can.
Right.
Again, if you're out there, give us heart, love, thumbs up, say hello, share this out as we continue this conversation here. So, Dr. Stacia, you are also, you mentioned in your bio, actually, the Balancing Act book, you wrote it with your husband and your adult children.
Right.
So that's awesome in itself. Tell us about the book and how you arrived at that topic, that title, in that place with your family.
Okay, so it's been 4 years now since we wrote the book, and we began writing it when the oldest one was going off to college. And we were kind of reflecting on what we had done as parents. And both of us are in the helping profession, that we do a lot with other families. And so we ended up having a carpool because all the kids were home. So we weren't going to buy another car. We just had to buckle down and get to carpooling. And we started writing. And then I said, well, I wonder what the kids think. Like, we think we did a okay job, but I wonder what the kids think. So when we started texting them and calling them and sending them things, they started replying, and it was interesting. We thought, oh, okay, they were okay with that, but they weren't okay with that. And it worked out. It ended up being 9 chapters with some basic core principles that we think are helpful when people are raising families, with communication, collaboration, harmony, physicality of families. We do talk about discipline. We talk about faith building. And they appreciated it. It helped them to get to know us as human beings and not as mom and dad. And it helped us to see that mentally, emotionally, they were developing on track, and they were okay, and that they had a good foundation for going off to college. And it worked. I mean, people, they like it. They're buying it. And
that's what matters, right? That combination.
What else we'll do with it?
Yeah. So do you think there'll be a part 2, or how do you think?
I do. Yeah. I do, because the oldest one graduated from college. Yeah, and I think there'll be a part two based on their perspectives as full adults,
Mm-hmm.
and as well their perspective on being young adults, emerging adults, because I mean, he learned a lot. He traveled abroad. The youngest one is traveling abroad. They've learned a lot, so it would be nice to hear their perspective now because they've lived around other people. Before, we were their world. Now they've been exposed to different parts of the world and not so gung-ho about coming back to this little country house, you know, in the suburb of Dallas, you know.
Now, how do you feel
So
about
yeah,
that?
I think it'll be a part, and I think we'll do. We're thinking about a children's book too, like for toddlers and early childhood, where they can read the same concepts that are from their level, not necessarily from adult reading level.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's awesome. So I know you are at this point kind of sort of empty nester. So that's a transition for you as well, right? So how was that? Because I can see that being a book.
You know what? I did not write about it. It was emotional. Because what I told my husband one day, I said I wanted to be a mom since fifth grade, and I never considered uh, being a mom of adults. I just wanted a house full of kids. He was more intelligent about that decision, so we had two, and we've taken care of our nephew off and on over the years. So when they got ready to leave, it was difficult. With Chance leaving, it was like a weight just dropped down and hit me. And one day I just had a good cry. You know, I think for 2 hours I was late to my appointments and everything. And then it was like, okay, well, this is our new truth, as somebody told me over the weekend. This is my new truth. And so when Taylor got ready to leave, it wasn't as difficult. And I was definitely more optimistic about her leaving. With Chance, he was so confident. Some would say he was arrogant. And I really wanted the world to show him, just almost like to level him out, that you're an intelligent kid, you're athletic, you're handsome, you're all of these things, but the world doesn't revolve around you. And I wanted the world to kind of, just show him, let's just level this out. But with Taylor, nobody had really seen her full light. And so my note to her was that I wanted the world to show Chance some things, but I can't wait for the world to see what you have in store. And sure enough, that's what she's done. She's really blossomed where she is. And then our nephew is over there at Paul Quinn with me. And man, just to see him, I tell you, yeah.
Wow.
But I think I do have a book in me about empty nesting, just because to watch the three of them growing up and maturing, it is, and of course I feel, like I really consider what I'm thinking and feeling all the time. So I didn't run from those emotions. Like I called my husband and I was just screaming, crying. Like this wasn't what I planned. Like I really wanted everybody to come back home. I don't know that they're gonna all come back home. I don't know. Like we're on an acre and a half. We bought this so we could all build houses. I don't think they're gonna do that, and I'm okay with that now.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Before, if you had asked me 4 years ago, 5 years ago, I would say no. My kids are coming back. We're close. I don't think that anymore.
Right. And you're okay with it.
Mm-hmm.
That's,
I am. I really am okay with it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Especially as I listen downstairs to somebody hitting on the punching bag while I'm doing this interview.
you probably got a recondition. Oh, he's back.
Right? I sleep with earplugs again.
Oh
Because,
my
yeah, I mean,
goodness.
they're guys. Yeah, they're guys. They're walking around over your head and they don't get it, that I need to go to work in the morning.
Right. Well, we don't hear it, so that's fine over here.
Well, that's good.
So when we talk about being intentional living, and I have to also give you a shout out because you have been so supportive of the high tea. I think you even came to the first two, so thank you for that support. But when we talk,
nice. You do a wonderful job.
Well, thank you so much. So when we talk about being intentional, how has that played a key component in your life?
That keeps me focused. So if I have if you ever see me without my calendar, I still carry a paper calendar. I have electronic calendars too. But if you ever see me without my planner, then you know that I've either lost my backpack. I still carry a hiking backpack with all of my stuff in it or whatever. You know that something is off about me because I plan out my weeks. Because if I don't, I'm not as effective. If I try to do things off the cuff, I'm simply not as effective. So to me, Yeah, intention, is that the word? Intentionality, there we go, is so that I can be more effective.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And be more purposeful about what it is that you
Mm-hmm.
want to achieve, right? Many
Right.
of us
Yeah.
kind of go about it hoping that things would just happen if we think about it.
No.
So
And I never have been like that. I remember my girlfriend, we were sitting in the beauty shop. This was right when we got out of college. And we were sitting in the beauty shop and I had my budget made out for 6 months. And she was like, "Man, how you gonna make your budget out for 6 months?" I was like, "Cause I'm not changing jobs. I'm not changing where I live. I'm not getting a new car. I know what I'm gonna spend." You know what I'm saying?
right.
And that was the way it was with my life. Like I knew I'm gonna get my bachelor's. I'm gonna get my master's. I'm gonna go to grad school. When we got married, both Trent and I sat down and said, we do not want to get a divorce. Like that is absolutely not what we want for our lives. And we want to see what it would be like to actually stay committed to each other, stay committed to God, and raise this family according to what He would have us to do, not necessarily what we would have us to do, and how would that work out. Like we were very intentional about that discussion. It wasn't like, oh, I'm in love with you. I'm just, we're gonna get married. You cute. I'm handsome. It wasn't like that. It was
Yeah.
like we want a family. Both of us wanted a family. And what do we need to do to make sure that our family stays intact? Because you have to be intentional about it. Because it's too many. I mean, it's too much stuff that could distract you. It's way
Absolutely.
too much stuff. You see what I'm saying? I want to act, or which is fine. If you can act and have a family, that's fine, or whatever. But I'm getting attention from this guy, so yeah, I'm all wide eyed now. But oh boy, like I told somebody, I said, you can't give me 22 years.
Mm,
You see what I'm saying? I've been with my husband 22 years. You can come up on me, but you can't give me 22 years. So why would I even entertain your flirts, anything like that? Because it has nothing to do with what I've built with my husband, and I never risk that because I've been intentional about having a healthy marriage.
mm. She said, you can come up on me, but you can't give me that 22.
Yeah, and it's 26 now, so it's like you can't do that.
Yeah.
And I'll be flipping or something and say, here are my bills. You think you can cover that, whatever. But if they just keep coming, then I'm just like, hey, you know what? You can't beat 22 years. Whatever you say has nothing on what we've built together. So
That's
yeah.
awesome, especially when you can work with your spouse and be intentional as a unit. It makes that much
Right.
difference in the household as well. Hey, KJ,
Right.
thanks for joining. So if you all are just joining us, make sure you say hello, give us thumbs up, heart love. We are talking about the arrival, but let me tell you, so much is in unpacking that theme that we have talked about getting goals. We talked about goals, not having feelings, mental health breaks, empty nesting, and
Everything.
a little bit of everything. So make sure that you are tuning in and sharing this out with your friends and your family, everyone out there in your Facebook community. Make sure that they know that we are live. We won't be on too long, but want to make sure that you get this out to your people so that they know that we are on and we're sharing some good tea here. So, as we tie all this together, when we talk about again goals, the feelings that goals don't have that we think that they have, having a mental break, empty nesting, like it all goes back again to being intentional. But how does one accept the fact that they should be intentional? They should plan when they feel like, well, anything could happen. I don't want to spend all the time making this plan. And then something pops up and throws me off track.
Repeat your question again for me because it broke up. I heard the off track part.
So when people are thinking intentionality, right, and planning
Yeah.
and being intentional about their goals and dreams or whatever, if they feel like, what's the point of me being intentional? What's the point of me planning? Because something's going to always come up and throw me off kilter. What do
Right.
you say to that person?
So, one, of course, if I was looking at that person, I would really try to figure out if they're the spontaneous type of people, because a lot of times they do. Spontaneous people have a harder time with this whole goal setting concept. It's just like life is great, YOLO, whatever the people say. Live your best life now. That's what I
Yeah.
love the vibe. Living my best life. That's all what it is. So it is harder to convey to them the importance of goal setting, and I don't struggle with that. Because when I work with people, I am looking at what's robbing you of your peace. So
Mm-hmm.
if you're coming to me and you're you're feeling disconnected, or there's some type of break in your harmony, then we're gonna get to the bottom of that, right? But when it comes to the purpose of goal setting, it's because you have something that you want in your life that's not going to happen by osmosis. It's just not. And you actually may have some setbacks, but that doesn't mean that you cannot have that particular goal that you've set your eyes on. But I'm gonna take a side note here.
Please do.
I remember a discussion we had, a long time ago. Had a discussion with this lady, and basically my stance was stop telling kids that they can be whatever they want to be. That's just not the truth. Okay. I cannot be an astrophysicist. Absolutely not. I don't understand physics. I don't care how many tutors I had. That's where science came to a screeching halt for me. Okay.
Yeah.
So we do need to be honest with ourselves. So you'll never see me on the stage telling people in the room, you can be whatever you want to be. That is absolutely not the truth. You can, and if you keep setting those goals for something that's not aligned for you, then you will constantly see those setbacks. You will constantly see that you're not reaching that, because that's not where your potential lies. That's not your route. Don't look at what I'm doing. Like people will call me and say, like my cousin called, I'm not gonna say that. Because I don't know who's watching. You're like, retake that again. Whatever. I'm not gonna even talk about that. But people will. What's that meme that says you're looking at my mile 20 and you're at mile 1, right? What is for me, God put in place 20 years ago. He did not wake me up last night and say, you're going to get a PhD in psychology. He put that in me 20 something years ago. 30 years ago now. How old am I? 30 years ago. He put that in my spirit. You see what I'm saying? So when people are off track like that, then they'll feel disconnected and they'll feel out of sync. And so I'm very clear about that. But if you're working God's purpose for you, you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, then those setbacks, the emotionality of that journey is what we can deal with together. And I just give people some tools for that. Are you journaling? I think you talk about that. Are you actually writing down how you feel and how you're coping with those feelings? Do you have a supportive network around you? Because some people are not capable of tolerating your trajectory. So I keep, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You already know what I'm saying, right? Not that we're not friends anymore, but that my energy probably, just kind of stifles you and makes you feel some kind of way. So I don't talk about my goals around you. I talk about, what I watched on TV last night or what I saw at the park or something like that. And we can still have a good laugh and it's okay.
Right.
So you got to make sure that, those goals that you have, do you have the right type of people around you to support that energy level? And then, like you said, the reset. Everything is not on Sundays. You're going to see me totally just separate from everything. I'm going to take me a good nap after church. I'm going to eat me a good meal. I'm just going to totally disconnect and gear up for the week. I'm not going to keep going steady. I think somebody, what was it, Steve Harvey last week said that you can't reach your goals if you're sleeping 8 hours a night. Well, I beg to differ. I'm taking my tail to bed because this skin does not stay clear getting 3 hours of sleep a night. And you see what I'm saying? You need to exercise. You need to eat right. There are some things that you need to do to just take care of the basic mechanics of your body. And I will talk to or give Dr. Walker a thumbs up. Japonica Walker, she's a natural doctor. And she talked to me just that your body is a machine. And just like you have to take care of any other machine, you have to do that with your body. So you need to eat better. You need to get more rest. You need to exercise. You need to get sun, vitamin D, just natural things that are available in the environment. You need to do that because your body is a machine.
Wow. Yeah, that's good. That's good. That was a lot of good tea. Let me tell you, you just gave us all different flavors. You put a little sugar and some honey in it to make it
I
really
drink
good.
kava tea. Kava. Look, relax.
Yeah, that was good though. That was a lot of good information. And I think that, it's good for people to hear that, even though some people may think, as you go about your day, it's the same thing all the time, every day. And you feel like you know better, right? You should be intentional. Right. You should plan. You should have goals. But life happens and it may get the best of us, right? So it's good that we are talking about this right now, having this conversation, even if it's just a reminder to those who are tuned in as you are exploring your journey and going to your next arrival in love, life, or business. And it's very important that you have accountability, right? And that you have these reminders, whether it be through lives like this or YouTube videos or whatever it is, whatever your resource is, it's good that you know that you have a place there that you can go to be regrounded. So as we wrap up here, I want to make sure again that you all that are tuning in, you know the goods, and the goods are that the Intentional Living High Tea, the 4th annual Intentional Living High Tea, is happening on June 1st, which is less than a month away.
So it's not even, it's like almost 2 weeks, right?
Yes, it is. It's right around the corner. Oh, I just saw Kathy says my after church nap gets me reset for the week! Exclamation mark. I think it was some post on Facebook, and I may even said it myself before as well. But they say a Sunday of content, Sunday well spent brings a week of content. So it depends on how well spent is for you, what that means for you. That could be planning out your week to, like you mentioned, having a good nap after church and your good meal, whatever that means to set the tone for your week. But again, make sure, KJ says she'll be there. I'm looking forward to seeing you, girl. On June 1st, Intentional Living High Tea, the 4th annual tea, will be at the Weston Galleria in Dallas. Same place, same time every year. I'm just saying, mark your calendar. So if you can't make it this year, make sure that you check it out next year. But I did post the link in the comments yet again so that there's easy access for you. No reason for a excuse. I'm just saying, it's right there. So we've been talking to Dr. Stacia Alexander, and we've had an awesome chat today as we spill the tea on what arrival really means, how that looks in our lives. And again, you may be thinking that theme was, what does that really mean? How can I apply the arrival? How is this going to help me grow? Well, I'll tell you how. Catch the replay. Catch the replay. So as we wrap up here, make sure that you continue to share this out. You can continue to give us some heart love thumbs up, share this out, and type in hashtag replay if you're catching it after we end this live, because we still want to know that you checked in. So Dr. Stacia, any other comments you'd like to make or leave with the people? Matter of fact, tell them how they can find you on social media.
Okay, so on Instagram, I'm at Dr. Stacia Alexander, and on Facebook, it's the same, Dr. Stacia Alexander. I'm on Twitter, but I'm not active on Twitter. And then you can go on my website at staciaalexander.com. And so I keep a pretty steady public life, I should say. But I'm doing a lot of work over at the college and then in my practice and advocacy in the community. So, just busy. Oh, the thing that I do have coming up is the Black Women in Mental Health. I hope that we'll get some more energy behind that, because that's been a good platform for me. And the ladies and I are doing quite a bit of research and development in that area because it's needed. Even talks like what you're doing, and I commend you, will fall under that mental health advocacy in the community, because not enough women are talking about mental health. Like you read through my biography, if the advocacy that I could do, if it will only change that dialogue from mental illness to mental health, we will see an increase in overall health for people overall. But I'm especially just, dear to my heart are Black women, because we're not accessing nearly enough of what our health services are. Wow. So thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining. I just have to ask for a little clarification on that event. Is that the one about the hair? I saw something about the hair and mental health.
Oh, that was the last episode. Yeah, the last episode on Goals Don't Have Feeling was if our mental health was a hairstyle, we pay attention to it more, right? So, because we spend more time looking for a beautician than we do a counselor.
Wow.
That's the reality.
Wow. Yeah.
So that was a good episode. But what we have in July 27th, that will be basically an extension of that. All of the things that you'll see rolling out this year is an extension. So it's not necessarily what, because I have the goals are important in August. So it's not nearly the same platform as that. Like, this is definitely more research-based, more education, more information, more advocacy. But it's really, what we think that Black women need to hear and we need to discuss. Because the last panel discussion we had we had standing room only. That's how many people were
Wow,
in the room.
that's good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, ladies and gents, make sure you follow Dr. Stacia, check out her events and her show as well. She, as she just stated, she's everywhere. She's out there, so you can catch, you can catch her if you can catch up with her. I'm just gonna say. So again, Dr. Stacia, thank you again for supporting the Intentional Living High Tea, Virtual Tea, all of the tea.
Yeah.
Wishing you all the best in your endeavors. Felicia, thank you. She says, awesome job, ladies. Thank you all who tuned in. Again, it's never too late to share it. Never too late to like, love, and thumbs up this thing, okay? So I am Dr. and we are going to call it a night. Thank you all for joining. And until next week, bye for now.